Many times parents compare their children to other kids, and this is a disservice to their children. I am not saying it is entirely wrong for you to compare your child with other children, but many a times when you do that, you are killing the self-esteem of your child. But before you compare your child, there are a couple of things you need to understand. One of them is that your child is a product of you, the father, and the mother, and that is why they share some inherent characteristics with you like genotype and phenotype. Because of course they are a product of your genetical composition. So when you want to compare your child, ask yourself a question: who am I? Who is the mother? And who is my child? And all children are different. No children have the same characteristics, perhaps they have similar characteristics, but there is always a difference among your children. So before you compare your child to other children, look into yourself, you the father and the mother, who are you? Perhaps maybe if you are not the smartest, maybe they can share some characteristics with you, but you can support them because they are just developing. Another thing you need to understand is that what environment do you live in? What kind of environment do you live in with your child? Is it a supportive environment? Is it an embracing environment? And is it an environment that is available for exploration? If these questions you cannot answer them, you don't have to compare your child. Perhaps the child you're comparing your child with live in a rich environment, a better environment, a supportive environment where the child could be allowed to develop in any capacity he wants to develop. I want you to also understand one thing. Most times, the children you're comparing your own child with are being pushed needlessly because they are stressing their emotional needs, they are stressing their developmental needs. So, before you compare your child, that the child can read letters, alphabets, among others, at a particular age, does not mean your child has to do that. Sometimes, the child you are comparing your child with is being pushed unnecessarily, and there's something we call intellectual stress. Maybe in the future, the child that is being pushed needlessly could suffer intellectual stress. So you need to understand that your child has to learn at his own pace, his own level, based on his strength and weakness. When you compare your child, you never tend to look at the strength of your child. Most times you see the weakness of your child. You also have to understand the personality of your child. Who is your child? Is he a visual learner, audio learner, or the visual learner, kinesthetic learner, or how does your child learn? What is the best way for him to learn? What interests him? What does he enjoy? When you know all of these things, is the school supporting him in that perspective? If no, then there's going to be a problem. The problem is you cannot expect your child to do the best thing you want him to do. So it has to be cyclical. The support has to be all around the home, the school, the environment, and you understanding yourself as a parent to know how to support your child. So I'm saying that if you have to compare your child, it might not be the worst thing to do, but sometimes it is not the best thing to do. Before you compare your child, know that the child is a product of your own characteristics and qualities. Your child, the kind of environment he lives in, that you let your child live in, support the child development. Also, your child expectedly should have strength and weakness, and sometimes the children you are comparing your child with are unnecessarily being pushed, and maybe they are learning at their own pace, and your child also has to learn in his or her own pace. So I don't want you to always put your child needlessly to overwhelm them. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope you have a wonderful time. Enjoy.